First thing that we are going to do is gather all of our materials. So you'll just need your canvas, just a small size is perfect, just like this. And then you'll gather your brushes. You'll just need a small, medium, and large. It's fine if you just have a medium and a large brush, but the variety will help when we are putting in the details of the silhouette. Next, you'll just need water to clean off your brushes, a palette to put the paint itself on, and then a paper towel to clean off your brushes and dry them as you transition different colors. Go ahead and take a few seconds to grab all of your materials and make sure everything is right in front of you. Okay, now that we have everything ready, here's a quick overview of what we're going to do. We are going to do some color blending in the background of our painting, and then we are going to overlay that with a silhouette of your choosing. You're welcome to do a silhouette that's more organic, like a tree or a mountain, or like I'm going to do, you can do something more geometric, like a building skyline. I'm going to be using warm colors today, so red, orange, and yellow. You can use whatever colors you want, whether it's a mix of those, you can add in different colors, or you can use all cool like green, purple, blue. Pink would be included in that as well, but that is totally your choice. The process will still remain the same. Now that you have chosen your colors, you can go ahead and put that on your palette. You're just going to need a little bit of each. You can add if you need to, but a quarter size of each color is perfect. Okay, the first part of the process is going to be starting with your darkest color. Put it on nice and thick at the bottom, and then we're going to blend up from there. So the most color that you're going to get and the most paint that you're going to put on your palette is going to be at the bottom to start. Once you have a nice solid coat on the bottom, then you can start loosely moving your brush up and blending that, leaving some white marks in between because that is what we will use to blend our next color. So as you can see, I'm just leaving some brush strokes at the top. I want it nice and thick and filled in at the bottom, but as I get to the top, I want to fade it out. Now I can clean off red because I'm going to transition to my next lighter color, which is orange. Clean off the brush completely, make sure that you dab everything off with your paper towel, and then you're ready to move on to the next step. We're going to move on to our next color, which is orange. I'm going to use a nice thick amount of paint again, but this time I'm going to put it directly in the middle. That is where my thickest and darkest coat of orange will be. Then I want to fade it into the red, and I'll do the same thing with the top of this orange, but for now, I'm going to start with my first blend. So I'm going to take this orange, it's going to be nice and thick in the middle, then I'm going to blend it back and forth, overlapping into the red. The red is still a little bit wet, so that actually helps the paint to blend in. So as you're going down, you can just pull paint from where you already have it at the top where the orange is thick, and then blend it in with the red that's already wet until it's fully blended together. The next part of this will be prepping for the next blend. So where it is thick in the middle with that orange, we just want to take a little more and do very light brush strokes, making it nice and streaky so that we have a place to blend when we move on to our lightest color on top. So definitely leave some white space in between, nice and light, easy brush strokes. After you've done that, you can clean off your brush, but I'll go ahead and give everyone a minute to complete their first blend and get ready for the next color. So go ahead and take this next minute to complete that blend and we'll move on to the next step. The last blend is going to be our lightest color. We'll do the same thing we did at the bottom, where we start with the thickest amount of paint on the very edge, and then we'll use that wet orange paint and then our yellow paint to blend in back and forth and mix in with each other. Again, it's helpful that the paint is still wet so that you can blend back and forth and get that true blend in with the yellow and the orange. Now that I'm done with my final blend at the top, I'm going to go in and fill in some of the streakiness in the red paint just because it is a little bit easier to see through, just to fill in those spots so it's nice and solid for when I'm putting my silhouette over this and I'm not able to repaint the background. Do the same thing for this step. I'll give everyone a minute to complete this blend before we move on to the next step and start in with our silhouette. Now that our full background is complete, we do want to give it a minute to completely dry before we put that black paint over the silhouette to ensure that we won't blend any colors in with the black paint. So everyone go ahead and take a minute to let it dry, put an air dryer on it, blow on it, whatever you need to do, and then we will start in with the silhouette. final step is going to be adding the black silhouette, which is just the outline of any figure that you choose over that background. Because this step requires a little more detail, we are going to move to our smaller brushes. I'm going to use my smallest brush on this, and I'm going to grab my black paint and start in with my silhouette. I am doing a skyline, and I will walk you through the entire process. You're welcome to follow along with the process that I take of my buildings, or choose your own. You can choose mountains, you can choose palm trees, anything that you'd like to lay over as a silhouette. As I'm doing this, I'm going to do solid figures on top, and then I'm going to blend as if it's kind of melting or fading into the bottom of my canvas. The last step that I am going to take is taking red paint and blending it over, just to make sure that everything kind of looks blended and like it's melting off the canvas. And after that, my painting is complete.